Guys, it might finally be happening. It might finally happen. It might have taken 5 years, an ACL tear, another injury, and a lot of other things. But UConn are probably the best team in the country. They are probably the best team in the country. And I understand you're like, they haven't really played anyone yet. But like, just look at their players. Look at the team. They're so good. Like, you have got the best player in college basketball in Paige Bueckers. And look, I think JuJu has unlimited potential. Paige Bueckers is better than JuJu right now. Paige Bueckers as a freshman was better than JuJu as a freshman. Paige Bueckers right now is better than Paige was as a freshman. She is the best player in college basketball, and I don't think it's particularly close. But if you want to look at the rest of this team, like, this is the best team this is arguably the best team that Paige Bueckers has played with. She's got, she doesn't have Aaliyah Edwards, but she's got Sarah Strong, who is really good. Like, Sarah Strong was the #1 recruit in this class, and she is going to play the 4. She can shoot, she can score. She might be the second best player on this team. An incredible, incredible pickup for UConn. You've got El Alfie, who's back. 6'5". Like, obviously she got injured playing for Europe. 6'5" big, so they've got their size, or not playing for Europe, sorry, playing for Egypt. They've got their size. You've got Paige Bueckers still. Like, Ice Brady's starting, but like, look, not anything special. But at the same time, you've got AZ Fudd to come back. Like, if AZ Fudd's projected to be a first-round pick, and she's barely played in college, if AZ Fudd comes back and is even 80% of what AZ Fudd was at her best, like, AZ Fudd underage was making national teams over Caitlin Clark. When Caitlin Clark was getting cut from national teams, AZ Fudd was making them. And not only that, she is a perfect complementary piece for any team because she's an off-the-ball shooter. Like, she is the best off-the-ball shooter on this team. She's one of the best off-the-ball shooters in college basketball. So AZ Fudd is a player that, again, if she can stay healthy, if she stays healthy, this team will have a lineup of, like, you've got Sarah Strong, El Alfie, you've got Paige Bueckers and AZ Fudd in the team, which is scary, which is absolutely scary. And you're also looking at a South Carolina team who are up near the top who are so reliant on 2 players. The only thing is South Carolina, their 2 best players are so good that they could beat anyone on any given day. On any given day, South Carolina can just, JuJu or Kiki or both could just go off and beat anyone. That's like, that can happen. Then there's, USC. So US Southern California. I'm sorry. It is 2 a.m. and I'm recording this. I do apologize. South Carolina obviously are good as well. South Carolina should not be the #1 ranked team over UConn. They're not as good. They are simply put not as good. They have too much of a Raven Johnson problem, but also Raven Johnson's too good to bench. She's too good to bench on defense to bench, and then she's so much of a liability on offense. And then, like, Tahina Pau, I like. For me, it feels, especially when you're looking at South Carolina, that the most quote-unquote firepower they have is in Full Wiley, who only played 15 minutes the last day, who's not even starting. Like, I think their best players come off the bench. So it's like, and if anything, when it comes, even if you're not going to argue that Full Wiley's their best player, their best guard scorer is 100% Full Wiley. Their best guard creator is Full Wiley. But, yeah, like, AZ Fudd coming back, I think, is going to completely change everything for UConn. But they're the best team in college ball this year. They just are. Like, I'd be completely fine. Like, she warmed up. Hazy Foot's close with coming back. But she's the perfect player to fit in with the players they have. And, like, Paige, I hope that Paige just decides, like, she's going to go for 30 a couple of times this year because she's that good. But, like, you've got a team that potentially, like, AZ Foot could be the fourth option. Like, and again, like, they still have Ashlyn Shade. They've still got, like, a lot of really good players on the team as well. Like, Chen's there. Like, they've so many. Like, this team is, like, they've just got so many people that can play. And the thing with Gina Auriemma is they can all play ball. Like, they are all going to play. If you're dumb, you're not going to play for Gina Auriemma. But at the same time, like, they just, for a college team, they're going to be so difficult to beat. And they haven't played anyone good yet. I could be wrong. Like, in a couple of days, I could seem extremely dumb for saying this. I think this take will age well. That they're just better than everybody else. They're not going to go undefeated. Like, look at their schedule. They play UConn, but, like, they go through a 5-game stretch where they play Louisville, Notre Dame, Georgetown, Iowa State, and USC. Like, that is a 5-game stretch where it's like, that is from the 18th to 22nd December. There is no way they go 5-0 here. If they go 5-0, just give them the championship already. Obviously, it gets a little bit easier. And they play South Carolina there later on the year. But, like, that 5-game stretch is the gauntlet. It is the gauntlet. And I can't see them going 5-0 in that. But I still think they're going to be the favorites to win this whole thing. I think there's a lot of good teams this year. And the good thing with March Madness is anyone can lose in a one-off game. Heck, I genuinely think of all the years, like South Carolina, what was it? They won the title in 2022. They won it in 2024. In my opinion, the best team South Carolina had was 2023, but Caitlin Clark beat them. Like, anything can happen in a one-off game. Heck, it was funny, like, at the time with those Notre Dame team, when Notre Dame beat UConn in 2017, everyone was like, oh my God, it's the biggest shock in the world. But it's like, in hindsight, that Notre Dame team, when we look back on it, had better players than the UConn team did at that time. But yeah, it is. It's an interesting one, but it's looking like Paige, for me anyway. I think that if you were to ask me who the favorite is, again, anything can happen in one-off games in the tournament, but I think UConn should have been the number one team, and I think it's UConn's to lose. I think if South Carolina win this year, it'll be their most impressive win because it's the first time realistically since 2021, maybe 2022, that they're not, like, out far and away the best team in the NCAA. And even though obviously they didn't win in 2023, for the last 3 years they've been far and away the best team. They just came up against Caitlin Clark playing the best game of her career.